how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to this new video. If you are new here, karibu sana. Feel free to subscribe and join the family. And if you are an OG, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So guys, the cost of living has been going up like every single day, and I tend to feel like here in Mombasa everything is more pricey than other towns because the kind of prices you get from the shops and even the supermarket when you go to buy something is ridiculous. You go check something that was costing 100 bob like 2 months ago, and at this point you find that it's costing 180 bob or even 200 bob, and you're like, wait a minute, kwani where are we? Kenya kwani imekuwa ya nani? What is happening? What is happening? Yes guys, so that is the situation we are in right now as a country. If you're not from Kenya, just know that we are experiencing very high prices on everything, and it's something that we are hoping that it's gonna end soon, maybe after the elections or not, we don't know, but you're praying that that is going to be controlled very soon. So guys, now because of that, I have devised some tips that I have been using before and even plan to be using in future for saving when the prices of everything is very high. Because you notice that everything is going up, like the prices of every commodity is going up, but then the income that you get is still the same. So that means the demand that is facing your income is higher than the supply you got. I don't know if that's making sense, but yes, right now you tend to spend more money than you used to spend kitambo because now things are more pricey. And yeah, that means you also end up saving very little money. So what have I been doing and what am I planning to do in future in order for me to save some money during this economy, during this inflation thingy and all that? So I have got some 6 tips for you, and I have my notebook with me just in case I forget something. So let's go to point number 1. So point number 1 is have a budget. I know we are almost coming to the end of the month and most of you guys will be receiving your salaries and all that. So what I would advise you is, before you even receive that salary and think of spending it, like, you know, when money gets in your hands or in your account, somehow your mind shuts down, you know, and you tend to buy things that are not even in your budget, like things you didn't even plan to buy. Just because you found it and you thought that you can afford it, you tend to buy it. So in order to avoid that, have a budget before you receive that money, or even before you start spending that money immediately you receive it. It's good for you to sit down with a book or whatever thingy and write down your budget on how you're going to spend that money throughout the month or whatever period of time it is. And that is going to save you a lot, because with that budget you'll be able to track your expenses and whatever amount of money you're remaining with, and you'll be able to know what you're supposed to cut down on and what you're supposed to improve on. Yes, so have a budget. That's something very important, and it's something that I have practiced for quite some time, and it has saved me a lot because initially I used to just receive the money, you know, pay rent, pay the bills, do a little bit of shopping and all that, and then the remaining amount that was supposed to, you know, cater for miscellaneous and many other things and maybe savings, I'll just leave it in the account. And you know, when you have money in the account, I don't know what happens, many things start popping up and they need money, and now because you have this money and you did not have a clear budget on how you're going to spend it, you tend to spend money on those things, and by the time you realize you have spent all the money, and now you start thinking of how you're going to get a loan to, you know, to cater for other expenses and many other needs that you should have budgeted for. before spending that money. You get it? Yes. So when you have a budget, you avoid such things as getting into debts. Nice one. So let's go to the next point. So point number 2 is always make a list before going for shopping. So I know many times we find ourselves in the supermarket even when we didn't plan to go there, or in the malls, or in the market, or generally maybe in a clothing store or whatever place and you find yourself buying things that you not have bought were it not for you not having the shopping list. So it's good for you to go with a clear shopping list on whatever you're going to buy whenever you go for shopping, any kind of shopping, in the mall, in the market, in whatever place that you go for shopping, and that will help you in reducing a lot of impulse buying. So like for example, when you go to the mall, you know there's so many stalls in the mall and you tend to to want to try things, or maybe sometimes what tunasema unaenda kufurahisha macho, you're just going for window shopping, but you find yourself buying that item actually when you're not supposed to buy it, when you are actually going for window shopping. You get me? So it's good for you to have a shopping list, because when you get there, you'll just go pick whatever thing is in your list, and then you go home. And by that, you'll have saved a lot of money that you'd have spent on impulse buying. Okay, all right. Yeah, so let's go to the third point. And the third point is only buy what is necessary. So I'll give you a scenario whereby you're in the mall, you're picking tea, like tea leaves and coffee maybe to use at home. And then you find that in your shopping list, you had planned to buy maybe tea bags, like just the plain tea, the tea bags for the plain tea. But then as you're walking around, you find that there is this other flavored type of tea that is out in the market, and now you feel like, I want to try this. So this item was not in your shopping list, but you end up buying it. It was not necessary at that point, but you end up buying it just because you thought that let me just go and try it. So at the end of the day, if you do that for maybe 3, 4, 5 items costing whatever price they are costing, and you come sit down with your shopping list, you notice that you have spent a lot more money than you would have spent if you would have stuck to your shopping list. So at the end of the day, you find that you're wasting money on unnecessary things that you should not have bought. So what should you do? Only buy the necessary things. Point number 4, and this will save you a lot of money. If you buy things in wholesale, it will save you a lot of money. Why am I saying this? This is because it's something I have tried and it has worked for me, and it has saved me a lot of money over the past couple of months that I have been trying this. And to tell you for sure, this is the best thing that I have ever tried, So what I usually do is things like rice, things like sugar, maize flour, wheat flour, or whatever other things that I can be able to buy in wholesale. I usually visit a wholesale shop and I buy from there. So this saves me a lot of money, because I do not buy in between the month. I do not buy things in a retail price which is a bit more than the wholesale price. And that also helps me in budgeting for the month, because when I budget, like let's say 10 kgs of rice for the entire month, and I go and buy in a wholesale price, for example at 150 per kg, I'll tend to spend lesser money than I would have spent if I bought the same amount of rice in a retail price of maybe like 180 per kg. So This is something I have tried, and I can tell you for sure that when you buy things in wholesale and you buy them in bulk, this saves you a lot of money. Throughout the month, you won't need to like think of buying those items again, and that means when you buy them at the beginning of the month, you'll buy them next month again, unless there is changes maybe in your routine, or maybe you had visitors and you ended up spending the whole of it, and then you know you need to just end up on something. That's it. This is something you should try. If you usually do this in your home, or like if you usually consider buying things in wholesale better than buying in retail, please comment down below and tell us. You can also tell us where you buy your things in wholesale, so that somebody will be interested to know where to buy things in wholesale can get to know where to buy them. Yeah, so for my case, I usually buy from the wholesale shops in the markets. Every market, I'm very sure that you'll get a wholesale shop, so that's why I usually go and buy, especially easy because our Somali, you'll find them having many items being sold at wholesale prices, and you find that these other retail shops wanaendea huko, and then they go and sell at a retail price. Yeah. So point number 5 is about meal planning. So this is something I never used to do before, but the moment I started doing it, I can tell you for sure it has saved me a lot of money. So thank you to my sister for giving me this idea, because you know, we were talking, and then you know, I told her the way sometimes I get stressed in thinking what I'm going to cook that day. And then she told me you can start planning your meals, like you plan your meals in advance for like 1 week, and then eventually you get used to it, and then you'll be able to plan for an entire month. So thank you, shout out to you, Carol, for telling me that. This is something that has saved me a lot. So what I usually do nowadays is I plan my meals for the entire week over the weekend. So if I have to do any grocery shopping and any other stuff shopping, I do it over the weekend, and then I stock up for the entire week, and that means that now I won't be worrying the entire week what I'm going to cook on this particular day or this other day. And it's something that has saved me a lot. So if you want to try this, you can try it, and then comment down below if you've been doing it, and tell us if it has saved you any money, because you know here we are all about saving in this economy yenye imepanda kama sijui nini. And yeah, so our last point is having applications on your phone that will help you to monitor your expenditure. So for my case, I have 2 applications on my phone that I use to monitor how much money I spend and what I spend on, because you know, at some point I thought that it's good for myself to monitor whatever money I spend each and every day, and at the end of the month I sit down and try to check what I have to change on. For example, this is what I usually do. I take the amount of money I feel that I want to budget for that month at the beginning of the month. So I feel that in my income side, and then on the expenditure side, now anytime I spend any amount of money, I feel that on the expenditure side. So what the app does is the money that you put on the income side will keep reducing depending on how you spend it throughout the month, and that should be updated each and every day. So for example, today you go shopping and you spend 2,000 Kenyan shillings on shopping. So when you come to the app, on the expenditure side, you write 2,000 Kenyan shillings. Maybe on the title you put grocery shopping, and now that falls under the category food. So next day maybe you spend 500 Kenyan shillings on transport, maybe as you go to work and come back in the evening. So on the expenditure side you write 500 Kenyan shillings. And if you pay rent, you write that. So throughout the month you keep updating each and every expenditure that you have throughout the month, and then at the end of the month, sit down with your app, try to check whatever money you've been spending, I mean like whatever thing you've been spending more money on throughout the month, and then check whether you need to change on something or to improve on something. And to tell you for sure, this is something that has helped me a lot. I've been able to cut down on some expenditures that I never knew I was overspending on, things like food, because you know, for now that I am meal planning, I am able to cut down on some costs. And also niliacha kukulanga vitu kwa barabara. If I don't have to eat out, I don't eat out. So I only eat in my house when I only eat out when I need to, like when I can't avoid it. So this is also something that I've been able to improve on. I know you'll ask me which apps I use. So the two apps are Monify and the other one is called Cashbook. I'll leave the icons right here on the screen so that you can see. And if you need to download the apps, you can get them on Google Store, Apple Store, any other store, application store, and you'll be able to download them and use them on your phone. The free versions are very, very good. That is what I use. I've not updated to the updated versions, and you know, it's something that I'm loving. So let me know whether this video was helpful to you. Comment down below and tell us what you have learned in this video and what you'd like to see in my next video, and I'll be very, very happy to do that. Okay, so if you've not subscribed, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Can you subscribe? And let's meet in my next video. So bye.